page who are streaming. We want to say good night to all the people on Olankwan Fashion Boutique LLC Facebook group, Love the Met Facebook group page, Dr. Jermaine Gordon Facebook profile, OBC Facebook page on Instagram, and OBC radio page on Facebook, and Olankwan Fashion Boutique, www.olankwan.com. So we're here tonight streaming on all platforms, and my advisor is in the background. Her name is Pam. You can type in PAMMYE_OXOY on Instagram. You can hear her mounting in the background. But what we're here for tonight is speaking on the infamous Andre Stevens. Why? As you all know, I have I've made it publicly known that I am a part of the movement which led by my leader, Andre Stevens. What movement? The Partnership movement. Why I stand for the movement? Because the movement faced on wiping out corruption, exposing corruption, whether it's in the government of Jamaica, the public sector, the private sector, school, church, and that's what we stand for. And for so far, there's a lot of things where he has come forth and brought to our attention, which is factual, and it's good to know that somebody from the inside and come out and speaking on behalf of it. So those are the sole reasons why I became a part of the movement. How I became a part of the movement, when I see what was going on, I saw a vision for this movement, and I see where they were like collecting, because what he has been doing was like doing this, feeding the homeless in Kingston, Jamaica, downtown. As he because of those purpose now, I saw also where he has been collecting, asking for funds via Cash App or MoneyGram or Western Union. Now, as an entrepreneur, I know that it only takes a matter of time for a certain amount of money to go through these transfer agencies such as MoneyGram or Western Union for them to shut it down. And also, if you're sending money through Cash App, if there's constant money going through Cash App without it's a business account, you're going to lose the Cash App account. So I stepped forward and I said, why don't you build a GoFundMe account? And on a live where everybody could see, I could bring back that live. Why don't you build a GoFundMe account, Andre, instead of going around and doing like this? And he said, Jermaine, I don't know about something they know. I don't know if you do those things, Jermaine, and it's not like I have anybody to help me to do those things. So I said, all right, hear what? Let me just stop that, because I've been talking about this for a few days. Let me just do this right away. So I opened my laptop, went on right on the live, and I start putting the information for the GoFundMe. My sole intention was to create the GoFundMe page, put it in his name, and hand it over to him. That was my contribution and assistance to the thing. As I went along, and it was my first time doing a GoFundMe. As I start putting in the information for the GoFundMe, it starts asking certain information. So as I start asking the information, he said, Jermaine, certain dudes information you're not supposed to ask on live. So let me end the live and we come talk about it. So he ended the live and we went and we spoke. while we are on the face-to-face video call, ask all the information, put it in the GoFundMe stuff, and give him the password and stuff. But as I went on to do it, when it reached, I was like a bit concerned of how the transfer would go from the banking. In all fairness, it was me who went and did the GoFundMe. Nobody told me about this song.
All-in-one fashion, boutique, or all-in-one?
It's 11 o'clock now. We can't call all-in-one. Nobody told me about the fund. Nobody told me about speak about the price that was supposed to put. It was me who had a vision and said, okay, being at what's going on and things, the feeling homeless, and he's exposing a lot of stuff that's going on has been going on in the government. So I'm looking at things, and from an entrepreneur point of view, I'm looking at things and saying, okay, what's going to happen is, let me put this, because my number is 7. It's always 7, anything with 7. So I'm like, okay, 7,000 would be too small, because based on what is the constant feeding the homeless and to endorse on what is going on and so forth and things. So I put it to 70,000 US dollars. It was nobody else's idea to put it at that. Nobody spoke to me about it to put it at 70,000. It was my sole idea of putting it 7, because 7 is my number. And as an entrepreneur, I was looking from that perspective, said the 70,000 would cover what they're doing with the vision of what I'm seeing with what's going on. Futuristic plan. As in getting not just the everyday coming on to Facebook and live just talking stuff. It's to get a whole website, get it LLC, register, where people can see people funding, they can see what it's going. So those are the business. As an entrepreneur, those are the point of view and the perspective I have. We started the GoFundMe, and as I started it, I realized as putting in the banking information, it wouldn't allow me to put in somebody's bank information from Jamaica. So I was stuck in a dilemma. I was like, okay, I really didn't want to use my business to do it, because I have the Olankwan Fashion Boutique, we have the TV station that we put on, the network that we put on hold, and we're doing the radio, promoting the radio. So it's a whole thing. We have a lot of customers supposed to deal with. We have artists supposed to promote and stuff, and artists sending the music, want to play. So it's a whole lot to deal with. So I didn't want to take on the role of putting the GoFundMe in for me to deal with it. But it's stuck where he couldn't do it, and he didn't have anybody else to do it and so forth. So I said, okay, I put my business on it, use the EIN number for the taxes and register the card. Those are the documents that was required for GoFundMe. My first time doing a GoFundMe, I had no knowledge, unbeknownst to me, what would have been the requirement for a GoFundMe account. It's OPC Radio, and we're here, and we're speaking about if you're wondering what's going on, we're speaking about the infamous Andres Stephen. This segment is sponsored to you by Olankwan Fashion Boutique, where we sell men, females, and kids apparel and other convenience merchandise. You can visit the website at www.olanquan.com or give a call at 1-800-944-2166 or WhatsApp at the very same number, 1-800-944-2166. So back to the heat of the matter, where we're talking about the infamous Andre Stevens. So as I was saying, we started the GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe reached 9. I started to market the GoFundMe page, the link, share the link. We have a WhatsApp group that we call the Partner Drum Movement, which at the time it was, I'm not sure how much people is in it now, but at the time it was 39 people that was in the Partner Drum Movement group. From the first 9, when the account, the GoFundMe account reached $900, a little over $900. I gotten Andre started contacting me now. When money started coming to the account, Andre started contacting me now and he said, Jermaine, I have my manager that I'm gonna send my manager so she can be connected to the GoFundMe account and so she can monitor it and deal with it. And then in my head I'm like, wait, but before there was nobody who to deal with it and nobody know about it. So all of a sudden a manager to come because in all fairness, what I was doing, I'm doing it because I've already put my business into this movement. And I'm a part of this movement. The source funding for the movement. I was contacted, in fact, just to retract, I was contacted by a few members from the diaspora who saw the infamous live with myself and Andre when he mentioned Footer Hype name. And they reached out to me and said they wanted to fund the movement. They like what he's doing, but they would like we to bring people now towards the UIC party. So that's the people on the international diaspora was more leaning towards the UIC party. I let that be known to the movement and let them know that it's a movement. However, while Andre is speaking about the stuff exposing what's going on with the JP government, which there are no lies, just to let that be cleared, the People's National Party reach out to Andre Stevens. Sit back, people. A member from the People's National Party, I wish not to say the name. An Iran member from the People's National Party reach out to Mr. Andre Stevens, our leader for the Partner Drum Movement, and let him know that, okay, listen, I have a certain position, I get a certain position I'm going to get a certain position in the People's National Party, and the position that I'm going to hold, I can let in and be able to let in anybody in the party. Just continue to do what you're doing with the Jamaica Labour Party, expose them, and I also wanted to start speak on the garbage that Mark Bolan is doing so we can overthrow him out of the party and take control of the People's National Party. A code that was going on since 1986 in the People's National Party. A member of the People's National Party went against the grain and trusted Mr. Stevenson with that code and gave him that code. Mr. Stevenson went and gave 3 other persons that code, and news went back to the People's National Party. So right now, in the People's National Party is a huge pandemonium going on with that said person, said individual, which I wish not to speak of the name. That said individual right now, it's like a minister without portfolio, because the position that individual hold now, because of that code that was given out against the grain of the People's National Party, it's like they don't trust that member, just because of the mouth of Mr. Stevens. So moving right along, yeah? When the GoFundMe account reached almost $900, I was given Cash App information to send the money to Cash App. So I know I was going to send again, 7 is my number. So I was going to send $700. But I think back and I'm like, damn, I don't know this Cash App person. It's the first time I'm going to Cash App. I don't want Cash App to be the wrong person. It can be a mistake and thing. I wanted to Cash App because through my business was involved. I wanted to Cash App into my brother. And I know my brother is a reputable person, very big in Jamaica, can reach out and pass it on to him. So he said, no, you have this person and whatever, and the reputable and whatever, the wife of such and whatever. So I sent $1 to test, even though he gave me his word, said it was a reputable person. I sent $1 for a test. got no response. I called the person number, his business partner, and the confirm of the dollar that was received, and they said yes, thanks, the dollar was received. So because they confirmed and said the dollar was received, I sent $750 to Jamaica for the movement to feed the homeless in Jamaica. Now, I wasn't gonna put anybody else on it because he started telling me to put on these people Twitter get it, and I wasn't gonna be stupid because I've already put my business into it. Jamaicans, all these people who he was talking about are in Jamaica. So if anything should happen with the IRS, they're coming for my business because this is a registered business in the US. And if I'm doing it, one thing I'm gonna make sure that for the public, in the public eyes and the public domain, I want to be transparent with all transfer that goes on, and I want to write up in the article in the Gleaner and the Observer that OBC Radio has sponsored such a movement for feeding the kids and show the receipts, which we have all the receipts. So moving right along, so those were the sole purpose why I didn't want to add anybody else from Jamaica to it, that he was all of a sudden start giving me these names. I sent $750, so $751 was sent to Jamaica. This was the week. Excuse me. Let me get some tea.
It's not tea.
Who is this sending me a request? Oh, and I see the Partner John movement is here listening. I don't really want to access that.
Now guys, I'm going to upload this video and try to get part 2.
Yeah,
so as you can see it, there's a breakup between Andre and Jermaine from OBC Radio. As you know, Jermaine was endorsing the program. He had endorsed the program and he was supporting Andre. And there's a problem now, so let me upload this part 1 and then get back to part 2. And I want you guys to continue and tell me what you think. I don't want you to just watch it. I want you to comment. Please guys, comment and tell me what you feel below.
Why you never fix the woman with tear into your blood clot ear? Why you never fix that woman that will pop out your ear and beat you? Alright, take me off now and go on again. See me start it up.